The Cosmos ecosystem looks set to explode in 2024. We've seen it happen already on Solana, on Avalanche, and now with over $30 billion being transferred across 100 different chains in the last year, this particular ecosystem is one we must pay attention to. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly what the Cosmos ecosystem is, why it's so important in very simple terms, as well as understand 4 different projects that are built on top of Cosmos that I think are going to have incredible bull markets. Hit the like button and let's get into today's video. Now guys, first of all, bringing you to this tweet from Cosmos themselves back on the 28th of November. You will see $30 billion of annual assets were transferred across 100 different chains. And you're like, yeah, no biggie, mate. But it is a biggie because cross-chain interoperability has been one of the biggest problems in blockchain development as a whole over the last few years. Why is that? Well, you've seen lots of development happening on Ethereum, Solana, Avalanche, whatever. And the problem is, all of this development happens within chain. The ability to operate across different chains was always a big problem. And few projects have promised to do this, but haven't done it in a secure way, like the Cosmos ecosystem, which has seen a very few hacks over the last few years, unlike a lot of other interoperability platforms. And it's able to do this by operating in a very interesting and different way from everything else. Now, this particular picture of the Cosmos Internet of Blockchains might confuse you a little bit, but don't worry. Let's go through it step by step and understand a little bit more about what we have. At the top, we've got the Cosmos Hub. Big keyword there, and then down underneath, the Tendermint consensus. These are going to be the focuses of what we talk about right now. Now, effectively, Tendermint is the blockchain on which the Cosmos Hub is built, and the Cosmos Hub effectively connects different blockchains. Now we have different blockchains such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Avalanche, etc. that are all connected via this application, which is the Cosmos Hub, and that information is then fed to it by the Tendermint consensus. Now, first of all, what is the Cosmos Hub? Well, it's a blockchain application specifically focused on governance, staking, and interoperability. It uses inter-blockchain communication networks to be able to communicate with different blockchains out there in the ecosystem, such as Ethereum, such as Solana, etc. And this also is what enables a token transfer to take place across these different chains, and that is a very key thing. Now, underneath that, you have what's called the Tendermint layer. Tendermint is a software that provides consensus and networking mechanisms for blockchains. As well as that layer, you've also got what's called the Cosmos SDK, or Software Development Kit. Now, remember these terms because I'll come back to them in a little bit more detail in a moment. Now, the SDK is a framework for new developers to come in and to be able to build secure applications on top of that Tendermint layer. This means that they can handle much more complex blockchain functionality without having to have all of the skills to be able to do it. It allows then developers to build very exciting, useful applications without having to focus on all the complex interoperability and stuff like that below, because it's basically providing them with it. For example, if I wanted to create a new online store to sell a batch of puppies that my dog has just had, well, I don't need to be a coder. I can just go to Shopify, and Shopify provides me with the nuts and bolts to be able to drag and drop and build that website. Think of the Tendermint layer like that drag and drop website, and then the developer just needs to come in and build on top of that. By the way, I do not have any puppies for sale. Now, at the top, the Cosmos Hub is basically connecting all of this information all the time. It's translating all of this information and feeding it back into the Tendermint consensus. Tendermint consensus you can then go and build directly on, which basically means that you can create your own blockchain, but utilizing all of the benefits of being built on that Tendermint consensus. Now, those benefits might be such things as interoperability, like being able to transfer across different chains. That's a really complex thing to do, but by building your blockchain onto the Tendermint layer, you are then able to utilize this. And there's many other different benefits as well. And you're like, tell me about the token, tell me about the token. Guys, you can go back and look how much percentage down you are on your meme coins today after this video. But while we're here, let's just spend a bit of time understanding something important that's actually going to see some growth over the next 2 years, sustained growth, not just, you know, over the next day and then dump on you tomorrow, okay, which is what you've been getting from your meme coins recently, no doubt. Obviously, for this, you need to have a token. Now, the token for the Cosmos ecosystem is called Atom. Atom token is mainly used for paying fees, giving governance, and various other different bits and pieces across the ecosystem. And it's gaining value as more people are starting to develop on this particular ecosystem. Obviously, the more people who are building on the ecosystem, the more information is going to take place. The more information that needs to be processed is going to be moved around between different chains. This all costs fees. The more people are going to develop on this platform, that costs fees. All of these fees go into the value of the Atom token. And that means that this Atom token has the potential to go up, not just because you and me and every other moon boy is out there buying it and pumping it, but because fundamentally People want it. It's in demand. That's very important, and something that's really being forgotten about in this degenerate age of meme coins. Now, there's been a bunch of big tokens that you've probably heard of that have been built on Cosmos already, such as Kronos, Fetch AI, Injective, Kadena, and this will continue to grow all the time, and that's very exciting, and you're seeing a lot of growth in those projects already this year. Now, the first project we're going to talk about today, which has been built on top of Cosmos, is that of ThorChain. Now, ThorChain is a decentralized cross-liquidity protocol. It facilitates asset swaps between blockchain networks, and it also utilizes an automated market-making model. Now, that might be a bit of a mouthful, I understand, but ultimately what it does is it supports various different projects using inter-chain connectability. It's a decentralized exchange that utilizes ThorChain for cross-chain swaps. Now, what might that look like? Let's imagine I'm holding a coin on Ethereum, and I want to go and change it directly into something on Binance Smart Chain, or directly onto something on Avalanche. That, from a technical standpoint, previously was difficult. You needed to go to various centralized exchanges in order to be able to do this, but given the interoperability that's provided by using that SDK from Cosmos, you're able to achieve that interoperability in terms of the swap. That's what makes it such a useful platform. Now, Rune is the native token of ThorSwap, and we'll look at that in just a moment on the charts. Every time you need to make a swap, effectively that Rune token is used, and the more people who are eventually using to make their transactions are using Thor tokens. It's used for paying different fees, also rewarding the liquidity providers for the different platforms and things like that. Now, I wanted to focus on Rune while there are others out there today because of this. As we look at this particular chart, many people right now will be like, oh, well, I bought Rune back in October. And if you did buy back in October, then right now you'll be sat up a good 245%. And that's obviously fantastic. But right now, lots of coins have been up recently, and yeah, it would have been better to buy them earlier. But either you didn't or you didn't know about them or whatever, okay? Now, what we can see, though, that is healthy is obviously we're seeing an uptake. We're seeing an uptake because people are using this particular platform more for their swaps. That's very valuable. But also, obviously, the market has sort of had a little bit of a pause for a few days, which has given us this opportunity potentially to be able to get in at a discounted rate. What we can see is we have a nice pullback, and then it pulls back to an area of interest. Now, why is this an area of interest? If you subscribe, you'll know. What happened every time we were in this zone previously, we have a big push, it comes back down, big push, comes back down, big push. This tells me that in this area, there's a lot of buying pressure. A lot of people are prepared to pay lots of money for Rune at around $5. So if it comes back down into around that $5 mark, then I'm interested. Right now, you're starting to see it getting a little bit of attention. So right now, from a non-financial advice point of view, if this was something that I was interested in, I saw lots of growth on the platform, I liked it for the future, maybe this wouldn't be a bad entry point. Like, obviously, we could have got in down there. I also could have bought Bitcoin at less than $1, but I didn't. Neither did you. So anyway, enough whinging. Let's get into it. What we can see, Rune looks all right, okay? Is it going to see growth into the future? Potentially. If we have a bit of a zoom out, we can see that maybe in the last bull market, it had a lot more attention. But actually, I think going the way that things are going, you know, back to all-time highs from here is like a 3-4x, okay? 4x, not necessarily the most exciting moves in the world. Coins like this, though, that are starting to gain a lot more traction, particularly as that ecosystem gains traction, I think will way surpass their previous all-time highs. Could it be going towards sort of $40? Who knows, guys? I'm not going to sit here and speculate, but ultimately we're looking for investments on solid platforms that are gaining more people usage all the time. This could be one. Now, there's a coin out there you're probably paying a lot of attention to right now. And I talked about it yesterday on this video where I talked about Injective meme coins. If you're really degenerate and you've got some free time on your hands, worth having a look at. But Injective has been absolutely blowing up recently, and lo and behold, Injective is built on the Cosmos ecosystem. Again, if Injective does well, Cosmos ecosystem is going to benefit. That's an important one for us, but we're seeing a lot of growth on Injective, a blockchain built for finance that makes the most of all of that information from that SDK, from that Cosmos ecosystem. Starting to understand why Cosmos is such a valuable asset to us as crypto enthusiasts, whatever you want to call us. Now, Injective, again, similar to ThorSwap, is a decentralized exchange or a DEX. It allows for cross-chain margin trading. Now, built on the Cosmos blockchain as a layer 2 application, it's used for cross-chain bridging for accessing cryptocurrencies from platforms like Ethereum and Polkadot. Now, it's slightly different from other exchanges out there in that it follows an order book model, which means that there's automated market making for the liquidity. It allows for transfers and trading of various different Ethereum tokens, and it has a vision in the future of being an interoperable layer 1 blockchain for DeFi applications. And it's basically being built as an all-in-one encompassing a layer 1 blockchain for the overall DeFi ecosystem, and that's what's gaining so much attention right now. Now, would I buy Injective right this second? Probably not, guys. Looking into the charts for Injective, you will see something very important, and I'm also going to use this opportunity to make a very important point. I've seen in my group this week, people being like, oh, this coin's up 900%. And the next thing people ask is like, where do I buy it? Stop it, okay? Stop being so stupid, okay? When someone says it's up 900% this week, say, good for them. What's the next one, okay? Because we don't care if it's up 900% this week. Now, INJ is not up 900%, but it is up quite a few percent over the last few weeks. Since basically the summer, INJ is now up 6x, okay, which is pretty healthy gains. What I would be looking at in terms of whether or not I want to get into this project right now, obviously, the temptation is to say, yes, I would love to be in, but who knows? Bitcoin right now is pumping, but if Bitcoin pulls back on us, then, you know, INJ could maybe be sat quiet for a few days. But, so what do we need to do? Using INJ as an example, we need to identify ourselves some buy zones. And this is what a buy zone looks like. You see, you have a nice pump, you pull back into a zone, and then it pumps out of it. This is a buy zone. You can see down below, there are multiple buy zones at various different points. Now, how do we identify them? We get sideways action, big pump. Simple. Would I buy this right this second? Probably not. What I can do is I can go to tradingview.com, free website. I can right click and I can add an alert on INJ, and I can say INJ is in a buy zone. Or you can see in terms of some of the pre ones I've got made here, we got money, we've got sell zone, buy zone. Let's just take a buy zone, okay? INJ, and then I can just set it. And then do you know what I can do? I can close that down. I can go and do something else. And then maybe if it keeps rallying, good for INJ. But it doesn't matter, okay? It always feels like, oh, I put it on the wrong coin or I missed out on that. Fine. But that's just life. Don't dive into coins that have had rips like this. It's just going to get destroyed, okay? So obvious. Don't be that person. Wait patiently. It's going to come back. If it doesn't come back, another coin will. So Injective's the next one. ThorChain done. Let's quickly rattle through the other two, shall we? The next project we're going to talk about is Celestia. Now, what is Celestia? Well, it is the world's first data availability blockchain network launched back in October 31st, which was actually not very long ago. And during the launch, they had an airdrop where they released around $300 million worth of TIA, which is Celestia tokens. That airdrop process was great because it gained a lot of people using the network and cemented it as a force for the future. And I will be bringing you a video in the next week or so on various different airdrops and how we can get involved in the next hot airdrops. So make sure you're subscribed if you want to see my next airdrop video coming out. Now, Celestia's TIA token, which was released in that massive airdrop with around 1 billion tokens being released, is used for doing things like just paying fees, gas token for Celestia-based rollups, and for staking the proof of stake network. Okay, so might sound a little bit technical, definitely worth dropping into Celestia and finding out some more information. As I've said, guys, unless this video wants to last forever, go and look into these 4 projects that I'm talking about because they're definitely worth learning about. Now, as we can see with Celestia on the charts, diving into a daily chart, it looks pretty juicy. Things have been going on, and we've seen a huge amount of growth since it came out earlier on this year. And you can see that ever since the sort of launch day, it's been basically up. So congratulations if you were getting into this earlier on, because you would have been able to capture this around $2. Unfortunately, right now, we don't have that choice. So is there a reasonable time to buy? Well, you can see that we had a nice pullback over the last few days. And literally just sort of earlier on today, before Bitcoin started to push, Bitcoin currently sat at around $43,700 and continuing towards the upside despite all the people waiting to buy it lower and whatever. 4-hour chart, look at what Celestia's just printed. This is a nice pattern. You can see there's the buy zone. We can see it had a dip, buy zone area, dip back down, we had a nice wick into it, and then we created a nice big W pattern, okay, big W bullish pattern. I would anticipate this breaks here, we push to more highs, and that probably will come soon if Bitcoin continues to rally higher, okay? Obviously, guys, any coin you buy at any time can pull back against you, so once you're in, you know, don't shoot me, okay? If you want to buy it, go and learn about it, but if not, I don't care, okay? It's not my problem. Now, last but not least, the one I want to talk about is DYDX. Why do I want to talk about this? Well, not only because it's built on the Cosmos ecosystem, and it would be a bit strange if I bought you something built on another chain, but because of this, decentralized exchanges are booming. Mainly because of all that crap that's been going on with Coinbase and Binance and the SEC and all that drama, okay? The problem with all that is centralized exchanges have struggled with loads of legislation coming in. You can't trade this, you can't trade that, you've got to provide your taxes and all this different crap. Now, I understand that that's important, but the problem with this is it's going to stop people using centralized exchanges. The benefit of this is people are going to use decentralized exchanges, such as DYDX. mainly because DYDX is pretty much a leading decentralized exchange offering various different derivatives, okay? And a derivative simply means rather than just buying on spot trading, I can also use futures trading or options trading or whatever else, okay? Which means I have different ways in which I can invest in a project, okay? That's simply what a derivatives exchange is. 20x the buying pressure, which offers huge liquidity and very low fees. Huge liquidity is an important one. If you don't have the liquidity provided, it means it's very difficult to get into trades and very difficult to get out of trades. Now, obviously, again, DYDX, you can buy the token. That gives you governance on the platform, and also by holding various tokens and staking it, you can earn rewards of the trading exchange. So when the trades take place, little fees and stuff come up for the trading exchange. If you hold the DYDX token, then you're going to gain some of those rewards back in terms of payment for your staking and support in you supporting DYDX. If it doesn't make sense in the longer term, then it's probably not worth it if you've got in a bit late. Now, let's get back to the chart. Look at where DYDX is. Now, we had a big unlock on DYDX, which is basically after their kind of initial vesting periods and stuff were out. We saw a huge unload of tokens that happened earlier on in the month. That's important when you're investing into projects. Go and look at like token unlocks. I believe there's like an unlock website called Token Unlock. Go and Google it, maybe you can find it. And that tells you when there's big unlocks happening, which happened. And you can see what happens after a big unlock. You get big old pullbacks, 33% down. But that's nice, okay? This gives us now a good opportunity to be able to FOMO in maybe to DYDX. DYDX, is it in a buy zone? I hear you cry. Let's get it on a daily. And we can see this area after kind of that big old rally up, you can see underneath it is an area of interest. Now, it hasn't really been bouncing aggressively out of this area, but if I was having a bet and I like the look of DYDX into the future, then you can't get much better than this old bull flag that DYDX has just posted. This could be one of the better setups I've looked at today, actually. When you get the combination of kind of like the clear buy zone area and then the kind of like descending wedge cheese, whatever you want to call it, this looks good, okay? If it breaks beyond here, then this is what I imagine would happen in DYDX, okay? Could be wrong. Do your own research. Trading is risky. You can lose all your money. Now, quickly, let's just take a look. Atom, again, guys, is way behind in terms of where it should be, in my opinion, on these charts. Atom is the Cosmos ecosystem. And right now, guys, look, it's literally challenging a breakout. Maybe I've timed this video perfectly and Atom is actually the one that we should have focused on all along. Maybe that's the case. You can see in the past, it got up to around $43, but that was the end of the last bull market. Not amazing timing in terms of launch. I can see if this ecosystem continues to gain strength and people continue to develop on this, that, you know, you're going to see pushes maybe up towards kind of $60 to $80 mark if everything goes to plan. I'm very excited by this particular project in general, and hopefully you'll understand why. Oh, I get it. It's damn confusing out there, and all the time right now, there's a huge amount of noise in crypto. Everyone's trying to get you into this and into that and trying to shill you crap coins and everything. It's incredibly difficult to do, and you need to have a very cool, calm mind and group of people behind you who are going to help you do this. That's why myself and Peter Voogd have created the League, and for the next 2 weeks, it's in a discount where you'll be able to pick it up at 50% cheaper than normal. So make sure you click on the link down below if you want to check that out. Benefit of the League is it is a zero-nonsense alpha group. We're very selective about who is allowed to post in the group. It's not just endless noise. Before you're even allowed to shill at any coin, you have to have been proven to have made over 6 figures in crypto in the past, and this is extremely valuable because it means that you are only getting access to information that you need to know about. So instead of getting hundreds of coins a week, we're giving calls on just a handful of hand-selected premium coins. We're also doing live calls, which we've had through the week. And if you go through the link down below in the description, you can go and check out this video here, guys. And this video is us going over an hour-long call where we break down the markets and talk about everything. Some absolute alpha packed in there, guys. So even if you're not interested in purchasing the membership, then check out this. You'll also get access to various other courses outside of crypto, which Peter Voogd has been a part of in the past, based around real estate and just ultimately improving and basically becoming an absolute alpha in the game, so that after the bull market, you then have your next move, you're ready to get into real estate and everything else. Absolute jam-packed with value, guys. Hit the link down below in the description where you can join the Crypto Elite. But remember, if you want to lock in that price for life, you're going to have to act fast because we're going to be upping the price in the new year. Hit the like button, subscribe, see you in the next one. Bye-bye.